We need to create more opportunities and find opportunities to create more jobs for the economy, into circularity, into green growth, and this is something we need to capitalize on.
When at least I think about gender equality, I like to think about the equality that recognizes the differences. And that is one of the major values of the woman participating in every single step and in every single area and topic of development.
I can't imagine a better time for us to gather and put our best minds together so that we can better navigate this period of uncertainty. We must avoid letting this crisis force us to choose between energy security and climate action. Our call to action this year at this forum is that we must stand together to avoid that false choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we as energy leaders have a responsibility to inject a dose of realism into the planning for the energy transition. Let's create a clear roadmap that is based on real and solid foundations. Let's adopt policies that strengthen the stability of energy markets. Let's continue to invest in new and future energies, but let's not defund the current energy system. We cannot defund the current energy system before the new one can take its place.
Scientific discovery and technological advancement today is deeply rooted in every facet of our existence as humanity. It gives us cures to diseases, it provides the potential for growth, it gives us solutions to challenges across the globe. Those solutions need to be tackled by everyone.
The diversity is very crucial. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We don't want to say that we want to be industrial nations. No, we want to make sure that we're very diverse in our relations and in the way that we're running our sectors within the GDP.
We need to create more trade routes. We need to create more opportunities and find opportunities to create more jobs for the economy, into circularity, into green growth, and this is something we need to capitalize on.
When at least I think about gender equality, I like to think about the equality that recognizes the differences. And that is one of the major values of the woman participating in every single step and in every single area and topic of development.
I can't imagine a better time for us to gather and put our best minds together so that we can better navigate this period of uncertainty. We must avoid letting this crisis force us to choose between energy security and climate action. Our call to action this year at this forum is that we must stand together to avoid that false choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we as energy leaders have a responsibility to inject a dose of realism into the planning for the energy transition. Let's create a clear roadmap that is based on real and solid foundations. Let's adopt policies that strengthen the stability of energy markets. Let's continue to invest in new and future energies, but let's not defund the current energy system. We cannot defund the current energy system before the new one can take its place.
Scientific discovery and technological advancement today is deeply rooted in every facet of our existence as humanity. It gives us cures to diseases, it provides the potential for growth, it gives us solutions to challenges across the globe. Those solutions need to be tackled by everyone.
The diversity is very crucial. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We don't want to say that we want to be industrial nations. No, we want to make sure that we're very diverse in our relations and in the way that we're running our sectors within the GDP.
We need to create more trade routes. We need to create more opportunities and find opportunities to create more jobs for the economy, into circularity, into green growth, and this is something we need to capitalize on.
When at least I think about gender equality, I like to think about the equality that recognizes the differences. And that is one of the major values of the woman participating in every single step and in every single area and topic of development.
I can't imagine a better time for us to gather and put our best minds together so that we can better navigate this period of uncertainty. We must avoid letting this crisis force us to choose between energy security and climate action. Our call to action this year at this forum is that we must stand together to avoid that false choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we as energy leaders have a responsibility to inject a dose of realism into the planning for the energy transition. Let's create a clear roadmap that is based on real and solid foundations. Let's adopt policies that strengthen the stability of energy markets. Let's continue to invest in new and future energies, but let's not defund the current energy system. We cannot defund the current energy system before the new one can take its place.
Scientific discovery and technological advancement today is deeply rooted in every facet of our existence as humanity. It gives us cures to diseases, it provides the potential for growth, it gives us solutions to challenges across the globe. Those solutions need to be tackled by everyone.
The diversity is very crucial. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We don't want to say that we want to be industrial nations. No, we want to make sure that we're very diverse in our relations and in the way that we're running our sectors within the GDP.
We need to create more trade routes. We need to create more opportunities and find opportunities to create more jobs for the economy, into circularity, into green growth, and this is something we need to capitalize on.
When at least I think about gender equality, I like to think about the equality that recognizes the differences. And that is one of the major values of the woman participating in every single step and in every single area and topic of development.
I can't imagine a better time for us to gather and put our best minds together so that we can better navigate this period of uncertainty. We must avoid letting this crisis force us to choose between energy security and climate action. Our call to action this year at this forum is that we must stand together to avoid that false choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we as energy leaders have a responsibility to inject a dose of realism into the planning for the energy transition. Let's create a clear roadmap that is based on real and solid foundations. Let's adopt policies that strengthen the stability of energy markets. Let's continue to invest in new and future energies, but let's not defund the current energy system. We cannot defund the current energy system before the new one can take its place.
Scientific discovery and technological advancement today is deeply rooted in every facet of our existence as humanity. It gives us cures to diseases. It provides the potential for growth. It gives us solutions to challenges across the globe. Those solutions need to be tackled by everyone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Let's see if we have audio going this morning. I hope so. So let's check this out. I'm trying to make sure everything's good. It's hard to go live and then get it. So I'm going to play this in the background, make sure I got audio better today. And then I'll do my introduction and we'll get this show popping today. Let's just see and check if I can get a hello or a good. Oh, I got it. Good morning, everybody. On the opening screen, I have, that's weird. I see that. I have, okay, so the audio is going, but weirdly, you see this? On air ticker. Oh, I know why, because I've got the big screen on. So let's go ahead and transition this big screen and say hello to me. Well, hello, everybody. Hey, how are you guys doing today? Now we're good to go. I got it. Still making sure all this is right. Got the screens going. Anyway, this is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Christ and Crypto in the Morning. Every day we come to you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here. Not only are we going to discuss Christ, which is obviously first, but we also discuss technical indicators in our long sum, short sum, in our daily topics. We go over news for the day, and then we wrap it all up with the new creation section where we go over scriptures that kind of go over what we discussed on the day. So again, this is Christ and Crypto. We're not just focusing on crypto, but that's more of a new finance system and in general that we focus on. So Christ and Crypto is the name of the title, but we focus on all of those things. So that's what we're going to talk about today, or that's what the show is today. So let's see here. Are you ready for your topic of the day? Your topic of the day, guys, is world government pushes for digital financial system to underpin order, period. Focus on. So Christ and Crypto. Yeah, we got audio. Okay, so that is what we're going to talk about today. In long sum, short sum, guys, we're going to go over Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin again, and the Dow Jones, because you guys know I've been calling it since Friday, waiting for the correction that happened, of course, last night. Always happens on a Tuesday, doesn't it? Monday, Tuesday, then it rolls on over. So I do believe today is Wednesday. I could be wrong, but I think today is Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? I'm going to check. I really just had a brain fart to thinking today might be. Yep, it's Wednesday. I thought, I was like, man, is it Tuesday? Yes, it is Wednesday. So that's what we have. We're going to go over that stuff and kind of dive into what the world government said last week, the World Government Summit, and kind of where they're going, where the powers that be may go, and what they're looking for and how they plan on changing our lives. But in the process, I'm going to try to help you figure out how we can control what we can control, not what the outside powers are, and what God has given us to use for his glory and how we can control those things. So that's what we're going to dive in today. The correction is played out, and I don't think we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, should we go ahead and jump into, make sure you guys do that social media thing while you're here, right? Do the, what do? Like the like button, right? You like it, you comment, you subscribe. I really don't care what you say on the comments. Just comment, get it going. And the goal is always 10 likes per show. That keeps the algorithm kind of going. If I can get up to 10 likes per show, just so make sure you share some of this stuff. If you guys like what you hear, like what you say, want to share some of the information, or you want to engage in conversation with me, follow along on the Twitter, the TikTok, New Creation Cronies Telegram group. That's where we're at. So I see my boy DJ's in here. He says, let's get started. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into long sum, short sum. Let's get it. All right, so we are here in long sum, short sum, guys, and we're ready to get this rocking and rolling. So obviously I'm going to hit this reload just to kind of see where we are in the charts. So right now we've had a little bit of a correction as expected. I think I've been yelling this to the top since Friday. I was really hoping this would happen over the weekend. but obviously expected it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it finally happened with the Bitcoin conference starting today in Miami. They just kind of wait for it. I was looking for the correction, didn't know. I thought it might pump and then correct after the conference, but that's today. So, hey, I don't do time, I just do charts. Speaking of, Bitcoin's at $44,361. That's where we are sitting right now. And the number 2 spot is Ethereum, still holding on to $3,200, $3,268. BNB is in the number 3 spot at $430. Solana in the number 4 spot at $119.54. That thing is rocking and rolling, up 7% over the last 7 days. And number 5 is Terra Luna at 110. Those two have been battling it out, but looks like Terra Luna took a step back. Actually, it looks like Terra Luna had more volume over the 24-hour period than Solana, but still close. And then running out outside of those guys is XRP at 78.1. Seems like no matter what, it's just hanging out in this spot. So this is what we are looking at. Let's say, so before I read that comment, Dragonfire, let me finish this update for long sum, short sum, and then I'll get that because I don't want to go off on a tangent in this section. So we're going to go over today, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and the Dow Jones. If you guys have any other suggestions for the next one, comment below or comment in the chat, and I'll do some for tomorrow's show. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into what we are seeing here in the Bitcoin chart, because let me get rid of the absolute wave there. That's just a little cheat indicator that I use. We're going to zoom all the way out to the daily, because this is the same chart, guys, that I have been showing you guys since Friday, watching it play out. Let's go to the 8-hour, get a little more. There we go. So I know this is a little crazy here, but this channel, guys, see those yellow dots here? This channel here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to flip it over and get you to the big screen so we really can see what's going on. Give you a little added detail here, okay? See this long line that we have right here? That was the channel that was breaking out. And what you've been seeing, guys, is these little liquidations where it came down to tested 3-4, but it also tested here. See? That parabola that worked its way up. Okay? That's the parabola. And then it came on down. So it's breaking down. It actually broke down in this channel. Sorry, I was looking at the screen and messed up my head because it doesn't matter why. I get distracted easily. And anyway, so when I've been looking at this, we've been following this channel down ever since we hit 48,000, and we've had some wicks back and forth. This is why I really like to do the line chart to get a good idea. But when you do your TA, either TA off the lines or off the wicks, here I chose to do my parabolas, my pivot standards, my fib retracement, and that channel. That's kind of how I used all of those together. And that's where we are sitting there. So when we come, guys, and we break down here, I'm still looking at this 3.414 as a possible turnaround. We have not touched it yet, but it's there. But I just don't think we are done yet. I do not think we are done. Even though the RSI still has a little bit more room to down, I was still looking at 42,000. I know I set a target yesterday was 44. I said 44 to 42,000. Clear as day. No change in that. I didn't get a chance to upload the 5 p.m. report, the 6 p.m. report, 7 p.m. report, because we're actually putting up all of our collectibles. So something else I do is I collect and I resell. So I will try to do that today, but it was really nothing different than what we saw. Bitcoin's finally playing out as expected. I'm still looking at least 42,000, this S2 here, the support 2. At least a bounce zone from there. I'm still not out of the wind, guys, this right here. 38.5, and even, I don't really think we're going to go down to 36 here, but I could see a nasty wick to 38, but at most I think we hold 40. That's what we're looking to for the altcoins to kind of do its thing. You know, the more Bitcoin kind of dumps or corrects, ranges, however you want to do, kind of ranges in this structure as it has over the last 5-6 months. That kind of causes altcoins, Ethereum, XRP, any of the alternative coins to really just range and dump and dump and dump. But in the end of a bull run, like I think we are in, this causes things to slowly pump. So you're seeing small little pumps, 20-30% off these bounces. So as you guys know, XRP is normally the last to go. And that will not be the next one we talk about. The next one we're going to talk about is going to be Ethereum, because this is something that I also spoke about yesterday that I saw coming down to at least, let's zoom it out so you guys can get it going. There's your rising wedge. Oh, look, my arrow is still there. My arrow is still there for a possible down move to the parabolic, okay? The parabola. That's that same parabola, but this is daily on Ethereum. And you see it's got some bounce in here, so I was expecting yesterday's call that this area was our resistance, right? We were coming up on resistance across the board, okay? And once we did that, I thought possible rejection. Now, why was I just a little nervous? I'm going to be honest, I was a little nervous that this could completely say, hey, your TA sucks. We're going to blast off. Kind of like it did last week. It said, hey, your TA sucks. We're going to blast off. The reason I said that here is because it just did it. So I was feeling a little inside. Like, man, is this going to dump on me? So, however, this perfectly back tested that 1.414, right? And now it's working its way down. I don't think we're going to break this 1-to-1. I think we're going to come back down and possibly test 27.335 again in a possible wick situation, flash crash situation. Yesterday's title in the crypto, my title was, is a crypto crash coming? When I put out long sum, short sum, just the section in the afternoon yesterday. And this is just a small correction, but I still think we have the possibility, guys, of 2,700. Now, I'm not calling for that target, okay? Because my XRP target is 73 to 74 cents. At top was 77. And we hit 77 on the head. I'll go over that in a second. So to follow the rest of my targets, I just don't believe we're super dumped, but I wouldn't be surprised in a flash crash. But this parabola, guys, on Ethereum is so far below that I think we need to work our way up for about a week or two before I think we seriously touch this in a scary way. If we come down and immediately touch it here this week, that's crazy bullish to me. But if we kind of grind our way across, grind our way down, and then hit it, and then grind our way up, I think eventually we drop down. But this 38.35 is major resistance. So what I would like to see is a flash crash down and then kind of bounce. And if I show you that with the way we draw it real quick, show you what I'm looking at, I would love to see this. This is what I would want to see. Right? That is the perfect concept of what we want to see here. Now, what we don't like about that, I'm going to tell you right now, what I really don't like about that is this. See that date range? It's not even on this market. This is March. Let me pull this back so you can get a good idea. Let's go to this 8 hour. So we can get a good time on what that would see, okay? Guys, that's 90 days, 3 months, which puts us in the middle of the summer, which actually lines up to where everything is, an XRP lawsuit, and in the middle of the second quarter, third quarter, all on our way to the third quarter. So kind of looking like an explosive summer, as I said about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Summertime looks to be what it is with all this delay. And the stock market. I think the stock market, which is their fourth quarter, and the equities, I think that's where we're going to go. So this is what I'm expecting for now. Again, that does not mean directly up. That means some more down movement and just ranging. So if we can catch this, that would be nice. That's what I'm looking for. The RSI here on the 8 hour has some more room to run down. So this is what I'm looking for specifically in Ethereum. Again, I know the timeline sucks, 2 months, but I think this is what we're expecting with the world events. And, you know, people won't say this, but I'll say it. Obvious market manipulation by the central banks. The central banks are printing money, causing fake inflation as far as the charts are concerned. For instance, when Bitcoin ran up to 47.8, there was no volume behind it. There was a big red bar of sell volume, but no buy volume. And it was pumping up, showing me that was manipulation, which is why I stayed out of it, but expecting a short. And that short absolutely played out. So Ethereum, this is what I'm looking at. And as Ethereum ramps up, okay, remember, Bitcoin is not going to do massive moves, but the altcoins, we're going to see different altcoins going. So not your large cap guys, not your XRPs. I see HBAR, XLMs, not those, but those ones that honestly, I don't even invest in. I don't mess with are the coins that you're going to see firing because they're such low cap coins that they're going to be easily manipulated and easily rug pulled. So be very careful about that. But Ethereum is the one to watch. I don't expect Ethereum to 10,000. I told you guys that. I don't expect it to break 8. At most, I mean, okay, we could see. Let me preference this. $10,000 is on the board. It is on the board at the end of this year. I don't think soon, but it is on the board. Now, I think we're going to stop at $6,500 this year, based on me seeing Bitcoin going to 56,000. So if I see Bitcoin going to 56,000, guys, I don't see Ethereum, because it's already up from $98 to this point. So this has had a pretty big run, just like Solana, I think, was at $1 at one point, or Terra Luna. Luna or Solana, one of the two, were at $1 at one point 2 years ago, and now we're over 100. So we're looking at massive moves that have happened already. And so some of these last moves are searching for 5, 10, 20, 30%. I'm not looking for 5, 10, 30% anymore, guys. I am specifically looking for 200, 300, 400% minimum. But all of my focus in is the last couple coins that have not pumped. XLM, XLM, and XRP are two of my primary tokens that have not moved yet, and they're always the last to move. So Ethereum is something we want to watch on this section of long sum, short sum. Right now, I believe we are range. My short is still playing out, so long-term bullish, mid-term, short-term neutral. But right now, we're finishing this correction. So I will tell you, do not catch a fallen knife. And that includes XRP, right? As you guys have seen, I have been showing you this play out. Let me see here. This is our XRP play out. I had this as the worst case, is 73 cents is our worst case scenario. But as I told my brother, 77 cents was the target the whole time. And it actually crazily hit almost hit my 765 on the target with the wick. But this is where we are. And again, the reason I am not long right at this point, we did come back to touch the 0.5, which I'm very excited about because that's what we needed to do. So this is a long section. The reason I am not long in this moment is because I am on this show. But I will be looking at to see how we react here soon, because look at these movements. You got 77 to 81. Like, that's a big move as far as margin trading is concerned. But the RSI is bottoming out on the 2 hour. So I would look for maybe a little bit more shakeout. I mean, I know we just had that dump. So if we can get another bar to close to watch on the NASDAQ, we'll see. And then maybe it'll be a good long point here. But be careful, because again, I'm still expecting down movement in Ethereum, down movement in Bitcoin. So we could see a little down movement in XRP. However, man, that back test of the 0.5 here is what just happened. I mean, perfectly back tested. So do we need to come back down and touch 74 cents? We don't need to. But again, it's on my radar. And if we do, I am personally longing that section for there, because that's, I think, where we go. Because when we start to go lower than that and it rejects, then we'll be looking at the 60s and 50s, which means Bitcoin will be going to the 25s, right? And we're not looking for that now. Not now, after this. So my long sum, short sum for XRP right now is definitely, I could long this with small, right now, long this a very small margin, very small, no more than a 5x. I would step my margin up personally if we got down to 73 here and Bitcoin got down to 36, 38. Really, I said 38, right? If that happens, man, I will be so bullish over the next week. I mean, screaming bullish over the next week, because everything is resetting. So my long sum, short sum, guys, on XRP, boom, we are in a long. If it hits 73 right now, neutral, small margin long right now, not afraid of that. Something I'm also watching, waiting to play out, which it did, is Litecoin. Litecoin, you guys know, once anything rejects at the 0.5 or under the VPVR, like you see right here, okay, when I do that, I expect a rejection about 5% under 0. So whenever I see a rejection 0.5 on that, I am going to look and see if we're going to get at least 5% move down below that. That's what I always check. 5%, let's see. 4.225. That's close. That's close. 3 to 5%. 5% looks to be target right in this area, which is right before wave 2. So we can't technically break wave 2 to keep this bullish. We can wick down because it's just a candle close. So if Litecoin hits 107, I am long, strong, right there, definitely. But I'm really, really feeling comfortable in this area because our VPVR, guys, this our visible range is building up and is very strong with Litecoin. You can see that, this area. So obviously the break here is causing it to fall down to this area. So if I can get in at 112, I'm going to be excited with a small margin. If I can even get in lower in this area on a back test, man, I'm super strong there. So again, Litecoin is one of those I'm ready to go. I think Litecoin's got some serious movement in it, and it's going to be quick and it's going to be fast when it's ready. I'm not really sure the utility case of Litecoin anymore. I know Charlie Lee got rid of everything and dumped, but charts is to the charts and things still pump. And I think Litecoin is one of those I have my eyes on now to pump. So my long sum short sum call for Litecoin, I am okay for a long starting at 111 to 107, small margin. The short is not quite done yet. I think the C wave needs to finish, but it could have finished at 114. But really 110 is what it's looking to hold long term there. If I zoom out to the daily, just to give you a good idea, our super bottom, guys, is 60 cents, and that's where we were, or $60, and that's where we were in the COVID area that we broke. You see that? We're at the $60 mark, and that's what broke down to here. So real quick, if I just tag that bottom and tag that bottom and drag it on over just to see where we are. Now we're going to zoom in, and then I'm going to move on to the Dow. See that? This is my concern right there. A 2.236 has now hit under 115. Okay, so if we want to hold that, and we definitely want that to stay, because if this breaks below, okay, this is the daily, then we could come back down to test. And we do not want that because, again, Bitcoin across the board and all the other crypto across the board could be going down. So everything is looking ready to set up to kind of get another fire up. And that's what I'm looking at for Litecoin. So last but not least, I told you DJI, which is the Dow Jones, DJI, which is the Dow Jones, should be rejecting and coming back down. I expected a rejection, and that's exactly what it did. It did not double top. And so let me see something real quick. I'm going to go ahead and give you a fib base so I can see what's happening in this chart. See how much farther we have to go. See if it's almost done or not. Okay, so the Dow Jones, which is pretty close to following, or for crypto to follow all of it. There we go. All right. So it came down to test at 3. I would not be surprised again for it to push down to 34.2 for the Dow. That would not be a surprise at all. In fact, that would actually help the rest of crypto do what it has to do and come back and test. Do I see a flash crash to 33,897? You know, I don't know, because normally, you know, Bitcoin will do that kind of crash on the off time, right? It will do that when the market is closed, the nights or pre-market or the weekends. I don't know if we're going to have that in equities. I guess we'll see that and see what news breaks that over the next 24 hours. Right now, very bullish as far as the last wave of the Dow Jones before Congress sells all their stock and the Fed sell all their stock. Very bullish on a move up. I think we're almost done here. The 4.14 was the test before we turn back around to test 35.5. So that's what I see with the Dow Jones. And I see that we have a request here. World chart by Ilya. So let me see what I can do here real quick. Coin Pro Trader. Let's see if I can find you a chart real quick, Ilya. And he wants us to see world token. I think this is it. All right, is this it? World token or WRLD? Or what I get? Oh, NFT worlds. Yep, I've done this one before. All right, so last but not least, here's the special request. I will go ahead and transition so you guys can see that completely. Let's see here. Make sure, and then we'll finish up long sum, short sum. All right, so I believe last time I told him I was expecting a back test down to the 11-cent range, I think I told him. 12 cents? Yeah, right here. I thought so. Just testing getting everything together here. Okay, so the back test did come down to the 1-to-1, 1618, it looks like. Yeah, we already came back to 702, which is good. We never came back to 111.5. We got some sell volume here. Looks like we have a 1 to 8. This looks like a, oh, 2, 3. That's the daily 4-hour. I'm kind of doing this on the spot real quick, guys. This looks like in order to finish this structure, it's on the 2.414. I'm actually satisfied if this structure finishes here. Overall, definitely satisfied. It does not need to continue to go down anymore. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like an impulse right off the top for world, guys. 1, 2, yoink. And it came back to test the 1-to-1. I think we could come back to see world test. Looks like we have not seen 14-2 test yet. So, Ilya, if we get a chance, brother, I see now 19 can hold. Okay, and this is just me doing a quick look at it. Looks like a flip of support and resistance. But again, if we get a flash, which I could expect, we could see it come back down to back test 14.6 and then V bottom out of there. But the RSI on the 4 hours looking strong. It's back testing 2.414 and the 1-to-1. So this could hold. We got definitely a lot more volume coming in here in the NFT worlds. But again, expecting if Bitcoin does what I could do, we could see one more down movement. As you know, the rest of the market follows Bitcoin. So there we go. Let's see. Oh, we got one more, and then I'm definitely going to get off this. We see, good morning. Your videos from yesterday never came up in my list. No, that's not the one. Let's read this after that. It says your head, just the top of your head for a 5 to 10 year perspective on H-bar. Ooh. Okay, let's do off the top of my head on H-bar. I'm just going to show you this, and then we'll go here and then move on for long sum, short sum. All right. Long-term perspective, we'll just go to 5 days. Get you a good idea here, guys. This is my sell targets for this year. 5 to 10, I can't tell you that yet, DJ, but this is what I can tell you that I'm looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 197 is the area that I'm looking for. I think it was 65 cents, 105, 197. Those are my sell targets specifically. Oh, I did not mean to hit the counter on there. I just noticed the counter was on the big screen. Sorry about that. Now let's try that. I think we just cleared it up now. All right, and on air. So this is what I specifically see as our targets right here, 197 overall. Now, where could this go depending on where this finishes? Okay, DJ, where this finishes, that's kind of where we go. If this 5 wave goes up and then correct, come back down to 3 at 44 cents, I'll get a better idea of where I think this should go. If I go off the top of my head and I just do a quick lack of information tweet, this is the lack of information tweet. That still has under $5. So I don't even see H-bar breaking $5 at most over the next year to two. Ask me that question again, DJ, because based on utility, if it continues to do what it does, we could see something a lot higher than that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna cut this now and go to the next section. So guys, yeah, that's it. Thank you for participating. We got the charts. We do chart. We got world, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, H-bar, and the Dow Jones on long sum, short sum, guys. So that's this section. Let's get it. Okay, so why are we really here today? Let's talk about the story. Before I get into that story, and then I'll do the thing. Let's do a 1 minute transition to look at some of these things here, guys. Morning, DJ. Morning, Dragonfire. Morning, Ilya. I appreciate you, brothers, for hanging out with me this morning. It says, your videos from yesterday never came up in my list to be notified. Only seen one video in the suggested videos, but I was never notified from YouTube. Just giving you an update. Yeah, man, I really think it's shadow banned. I'll try to do better at getting it up. I did release new creation this morning. I guess it never published. So you should have got 2, but I'll double check to see if we can get that going. Again, thank you for that. Really trying to get off the shadow ban list there. Let's see what else. That's pretty much there. So, well, let's go into the daily topic of the day. Let me get everything right before I hit that button, because you guys know I'm going to upload these later. So when I upload these later, it'll be a little section. You can break it down the news section. So really excited about that. If you guys have just stopped by, make sure you hit that like button for me. Again, trying to get to 10 likes. That's it. That helps the algorithm, because as Dragonfire Crypto says right now they're able to push it. I'm even seeing likes getting taken off. One video ended up getting like 22 likes. The next day it had like 8. So please make sure we get that. Obviously, whatever we are talking about, New Creation Cronies are a lot of the guys that are putting stuff in there. Ladies and females are putting, or men and women, whatever. You know, this today's day. The men and women in my New Creation Cronies group putting a lot of information in there. And that's kind of how we get this show going every day. So thank you guys for your help so much. And that is no different than what led me to today's show. And let's go ahead and I'm going to hit our daily topic, breaking news, and jump right on into that. Let's get it. All right. Now, let's make sure that we are all gravy. I'm going to check my mic again for this daily news. Yeah, it seems like we are all good. So, man, what are we going to talk about today? The World Government Summit pushes for digital financial system to underpin the world order. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to play some things for you. Hopefully, this doesn't take 30 minutes to do this before we get in the new creation section, but I'm going to play some of these clips for you, and I want you to listen to what's talking on the world market right now and on the world stage. And here's just some of the introductions. So let's go ahead and do that and see where we go with that, shall we? Let's get it.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy.
This is the story of money, perhaps the end of money as we know it.
What the internet did for information, Bitcoin is doing for money.
If you have the money, you can always buy cryptocurrency.
What is it about Bitcoin that gets you guys so fired up?
The asset itself is creating nothing.
It's not behaving like gold right now. Gold is up, Bitcoin's down.
Is Ethereum the superior bet?
Its market cap increased by over 10,000%.
An ICO is sort of like an IPO, but instead of buying shares, investors buy tokens.
Bitcoin price hits $54,000, reaching a $1 trillion market cap.
Interesting, huh? That's one of the things that they were asking, right? What is the future of money? It's one of the things they're discussing there. What is the future of money? We're going to discuss these. I'm going to let you show what they're saying. I just want to play you a couple clips. Here's another clip from that. So let me go ahead and play that for you.
The world as we know it has changed. Altering our current path to the future requires a strong and proactive leadership. The global economy is in transition. Now is the time to come together as governments, as nations, as people. Putting nature at the heart of how we innovate will make us ready for the final frontier. Putting people at the heart of robotics will create a better tomorrow between AI and society. The World Government Summit will enable nations to come together and take accountability.
We cannot continue to destroy our environment.
We are here to shape the future.
Build a better tomorrow by taking action here and now.
Do you see? They are ready for you. They are ready for you. This is what they're talking about. They want to take action now. They want to do it together, right? They're changing the financial system. This is what they're talking about, the World Government Summit. This is where all the leaders gather in the world and they tell us what they're going to do. They tell you. They tell you. You think I'm kidding? Let's check out another clip, shall we?
Why would anyone pay $69 million for a JPEG and a hyperlink?
Artificial intelligence is going to create jobs.
People and AI help each other.
Uh-oh. Jobs, AI. Let me take that auto. Jobs and AI, that's That's what they're wanting to move for. They're wanting to move into a robotics industry, a new finance, a new area where humans are in complete control, but the fact that the upper beings are in control through the drones. So I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but I just want to play for you what they're saying. So who is this lady here? Christina, Christina, I can never say her name. Anyway, she's the head of the IMF. She's the person pushing and helping other countries as far as the bank reserves are concerned, special drawing rights, which we've spoken about multiple times on this channel, where I think special drawing rights are going. And I want you to see what they've spoke about. So I'm going to play this 2-minute clip for you here. And she's going to talk about, I want you to listen. She's going to talk about special drawing rights, how much they gave to Ukraine through special drawing rights, what they see on with Russia, what she sees with Russia, and where they see how everything's going to play out. So I just want you to get a better idea of what to see and what to listen for and what these people are actually saying. So I'm going to go full-blown chart here on you, and let's play this.
Up. The war in Ukraine is devastating for Ukraine. It would shrink probably about 1/3. It is very bad for Russia. Russia is going to be in deep recession this year, but it also spills over to the rest of the world. It goes far, it goes fast.
All right, far and fast. What's the fund doing? You've made funds available to Ukraine. You're making funds available to spillover. I hate the phrase spillover countries, but you know what I mean. To Moldova and those countries. Have you got enough money?
We do have $750 billion lending capacity. Because of the wisdom of our membership, last year we issued special drawing rights, this is a reserve asset, of $650 billion. And now we are asking our well-to-do members to please lend through us on highly concessional terms some of your newly acquired reserves that you don't need for your economies, so we can boost our concessional lending capacity, cheap money for poor countries.
Right, but the problem with this lending, they need the money.
Mm-hmm.
But even on concessional terms, they're taking on debt. And eventually that's going to boomerang. Essentially, you don't want loans, you need grants. You need to write the thing off and say, here it is.
Yep. So that was the beauty of the special drawing rights, because it is de facto a grant. Ukraine got $2.7 billion in special drawing rights. I have had meetings with leaders of poor countries, Somalia, countries that are today in very deep trouble. They're telling me, thank God for the special drawing rights. But Richard, they also say, Madame Kristalina, we do need long-term, low-cost money today. Why? Because with the inflation hitting everywhere, advanced economies, the US, the Federal Reserve, are increasing its interest rates. For poor countries, that means cost of what they currently have as debt goes up and suffocates them.
Well, we'll get to this in a second, if we may, because I've got a few points I want to ask you about that. Let's just stick with Russia and Ukraine for a second. Why haven't you suspended or kicked Russia out of the fund?
Well, we have no programs with Russia. Our Moscow office is not operational. So in that sense, we have a very, very, very difficult and different relations.
Can you suspend them? Do you have the authority? Can the board suspend them?
The board can only suspend them if the membership of the fund says we do not recognize anymore this particular government. And that is a very tall order decision, Richard, because we all know that for this war to end, there has to be dialogue. It is not going to happen without it. So we have articles of agreement. In our articles of agreement, countries have obligations to the fund that are only economic and financial obligations. That obligations are currently being followed.
Right.
And we want to stick to rules-based governance.
All right, so that's what I wanted to play for you there. So she talks about the special drawing rights, right, that she has given to Ukraine, $2.7 billion worth. And they're expecting other countries, right, to help. And they also said they don't want to loan it. They're wanting grants so they can write it off. But right now they're in, they were in the AUE, right? And so they were telling them, hey, you should use your money to help these countries. So these are some of the richest people in the world, the wealthiest people in the world. So the IMF is on stage, as Dragonfire said, Kristalina, that's it, Georgieva, right? Kristalina Georgieva is on stage saying that. And then he asked the question, well, are you going to get rid of Russia? The rest of the world wants rid of Russia. And she says, we're not here to talk about our feelings. We're here to rule on rules-based government. They have a financial obligation. They meet their financial obligation, and we have no issues with them. In fact, in order for the IMF not to talk to Russia, we have to not recognize them as a country. Like, that's insane that people are wanting this. And as you can see here, you know, you hear a lot of people saying Russia's doing all these humanitarian, or there's a humanitarian crisis and Russia is committing all these war crimes, right? You see that, but if that was true, like anywhere else, we'd really be at it right now. Instead, they're trying to push it a financial system. This is all about changing that financial system. And here she is pitching SDRs there. Now, as Dragonfire says here, it says SDR is neither a currency nor a claim on the IMF, which is true. Rather, is a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of the IMF members, which is also true. SDRs can be exchanged for these currencies, right? SDR is an intermediary, right? It's in the middle. That's what it's going to do. So SDR, in my personal opinion, is something like XRP, right? XRP behind for cross-border payments, able to move mass sums of currency. It is not there for retail investors. It's only for institutional investors. XRP is also what? Quick, right? Quick, cheap, decentralized. There you go. That's how it's going to move forward. So that's what I see. I know XLM's involved in quant and all that, but that's where I see here. So we're pushing towards the statement of this, instead of going off on an XRP ramble, is the digital financial system, right? That's what we're talking about, and a new world order underpinning it. And so how do I get there? Well, this is kind of what happened. Now, I came across this on TikTok, to be honest. The wife showed me something for TikTok, and this lady was talking, so I started Googling the World Government Summit a little bit more and looking into it. And I want you to see what she has to say, because this is pretty big. And this is Dr. Pippa Malmgren. She's an American economist who served as a special advisor on the economic policy to the President George Bush. And her father served with John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford. So this woman, obviously, and her family is deep inside of the political system already. So when she says this, what you're going to hear, and then we'll go over it, what she says this, she knows what she's talking about. So let me go ahead and play this for you. It's about 1.5 minutes, and then we'll wrap this part of the section up. So let's get it going.
A bit late for that. I remember talking to an Australian diplomat at one point about this break between the US and China, and said, you know, both sides are going to say, whose team are you on? And he said, our job is to make sure the question never arises. But the question has arisen. And so I think we have to go deeper. And it's not about the US versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well.
Oh boy, did you guys just hear that? Wow. I mean,
side view of
wow. This is on the world stage, okay? This is not on a podcast right here. It's not some random person coming on. This is an advisor to the president. This is Dr. Pippa, right? She is involved in economics. Her family is deep in, and she just told you. She just told you it's happening. She says here, quote, and what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting is what we call blockchain. Now that was interesting because we know that, right? We know that the Great Reset is coming. We're expecting it. But here is what really caught my attention. It's like, okay, this is a good thing. And I think this is a record for topics sometimes, right? Because it says we have a perfect transaction. But here it is. It says, in my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private. But what I see are superpowers. What she sees are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink. In the same direction the Europeans have committed to it as well. They're ready. They are ready. But you see that the interesting thing is that digital constitution of human rights. In other words, so they can't just take your money when they want to, because that's what they do. That's what they just did to Russia and the oligarchs, right? And I know someone said, well, what happened when we went to Iraq and Iran in the early 2000s and the WMDs, right? And honestly, this probably get me banned. There is no difference in a war that did not have mass weapons of destruction or anything to deal with America that we went in, and Russia with Ukraine, as far as the leaders making decisions that are affecting the world and the economy. There is no difference there. In fact, I would say more that it's probably worse in 2000 or early 2000s because we didn't have social media the way we did, so we couldn't see and we couldn't propagate, or they couldn't do their propaganda the same way. But this war here, where the war in Iraq, right, and Iran and Afghanistan, to be honest, they say a war on terrorism, but I say it was a war for oil and a war for the reserve dollar and the petrodollar. Here we have another war that this is a currency war, right? This is the yuan, the petro yuan, and the Russian ruble being tied to gold and moving. And as you say here, right here, it is moving. The system is moving to a digital system, and you see it happening all around the world right now. CBDCs, just launched. We talked about it yesterday in Jamaica, the Caribbean, right? And Russia with Serb coin, and Canada and China and Australia, America, the Bank of England, the Bank of Brazil, all these places doing CBDCs, testing CBDCs, having some type of currency, airdrops. It's there, but it's switching from hard money, cash money, right, paper money, to blockchain. And she was really, a new accounting is what we call blockchain. They're excited about that. They are excited about that. And here's another thing. It says this, and then we'll move on. It says a digital, I did not mean to highlight all of that. Let's just highlight this. Boom. A digital currency allows ultimate control on a global basis by a one world government or Western system of collective governments that can assign value. No other mechanism will have much control over the life of a person than a digital currency that will create a system of transactional credits and debits and perhaps an influence over your social credit score. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Your social credit score. And that's where that is going. That's where that is going. So I wanted to play that for you. And then when I happen to type in world order, right? When I happen to type that in, this is what came up in today's articles, April 4th. And then we're going to wrap this up. Ray Dalio. We're approaching a challenging of the world order. So right now people are challenging who's currently in charge. Countries are. And that's where we're going with that. And then fast forward, BlackRock. Get ready for a new world order that drives stocks and bonds. They're telling you it's happening. Are you preparing? More importantly, this is the question I have for you guys that are investing in crypto. Are you being patient? Or are you, this is taking too long, I'm going to cash out and I'm going to use this little money to get where I got to get to today? Or are you going to hodl and wait for this to play out? The world is changing. It takes time to change the world. But this has been going on since 2008, and everything goes slow. Then all of a sudden it's fast and it's done. And I'm in the ballpark that we are almost on that second to last step, where it's the end of the speculation market and we begin to move into utility, because the world order is here. The new world order is ready to take its reins. So that's what I say here, man. That's what I'm looking at, our financial underpinning of the world. You got the crypto. They're doing it, man. So what do you guys think? You know, write a comment below. Let me know what's on your mind. Are you hodling? How do you think this feels? I think this is a good section to talk about as we continue to dive deep into what is going on in the world outside of just normal news, but what's going on behind everybody. What's really making these things move? And if you know anything about BlackRock, they're part of whatever world order is there. But she told you. It's coming. It's coming. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, do the notification, hit the bell for the notification so you can be notified when I go live. That is the end of this section for, what is this called? Yeah, it's our daily topics, man. So let me know what you like below, comment, do all those things. All right, let me close this out. All right. So if you guys have come for the news and you have now stopped off, this is the drop off. We're going to hit new creation next and go into the scriptures, how this all ties in today. So if you come by and this is where you get off, thank you so much for hanging out. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, share, do that notification thing. Again, the goal is 10 likes. So if this is where you get off, thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow. If you are staying, let's continue talking about what we talked about yesterday and our new creation. So without further ado, let me hit that new creation. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. Okay, so here we go. So yesterday we talked about a one world currency, right? Where you could not buy or sell. Or that was that 2 days ago. We talked about one world currency buying or selling. I think that was 2 days ago, maybe on Monday. Then yesterday, what did we speak about yesterday? I already forgot. It had to be Revelation 6:6 though, I think. Anyway, we're going to move on to the one world government aspect of it and trying to see here if that's even in the Bible. And I want to just read a couple passages here to you and kind of show you where this is going, because I'm trying to connect Revelation with the Antichrist and the currency, one world currency, one world government. Even though those words are not directly there, it prophesizes that. So that's kind of the reason we do new creation, because I'm kind of focused on where prophecy is playing out today but more importantly, that Christ is the center of all of this. So in Revelation, the Apostle John sees the beast, okay? The beast also called the Antichrist. So when you see the word beast, it's considered the Antichrist. And this revelation that John is given by God once he has been casted out by the Romans, he sees the Antichrist rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's in Revelation 13:1. We won't talk about the 7 heads, and we won't talk about the details and all the visions of what each one means. But if you combine the vision with Daniel's similar one in Daniel 7:16-24, which was, let me read that to you real quick so you can get a good idea of what that said. It's not too long, but it says, I approached one and stood there, asked him the truth concerning all this. So he told me and made known to me the interpretation of things, of what he saw. And it says, the 4 great beasts are 4 kings who shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. So they're going to try to take over. Christ comes down, knocks it all away. Jesus wins. We all go to heaven. Well, we all don't. Believers. Believers are now, let me give correct theology. When Christ comes down for the 1,000-year millennium and reigns, after he binds the beast and the dragon, then they come back and they have the massive war, right? And then we have the book of life and the book of judgment, where Christ is going to, where you're going to be judged if you were not a believer based on the works that you have done. If you were not a believer at that point, my understanding of the scriptures is it's pretty much over with for you. So you've got your chance to believe in Christ now. You got your chance to believe in him when he is present during the millennium. After that point, it's pretty much a wrap. So prophecies like, hey, man, I told you, hey, like your bank account has got $10 left. Every dollar you spend, you're down to 0. Once you get to 0, it's a wrap. Pretty much what he's saying here. It says, then I desired to know the truth about the fourth beast, which was different from all the rest, exceedingly terrifying, and its teeth of iron and claws of bronze, in which devoured and broke in pieces and stamped that was left with its feet, and about the 10 horns that were on his head, and the other horn that came up before them, which 3 of them fell. The horn had eyes and a mouth that spoke great things, and that seemed greater in its companions. And as I looked, this horn made war with the saints and prevailed over them, until the Ancient of Days come, and judgment was given for the saints of the Most High, and the time came when the saints possessed the kingdom. So when the Antichrist comes back, he will reign for 3.5 years. Then Christ will come back, and then it will continue the story. So when you see that there, that's what happens. That's what they're talking about, that the Christ gives the people what they want, and that's this world wanting the devil. The world itself wants Satan and the devil. Just turn on Netflix, turn on your morning news, turn on something else. You're going to see they don't preach Christ anymore. You don't hear the name Jesus. You see the devil, Satan, spirits, murder, killing, rapes, pedophilia, anything. That's what you see on all of the television shows now. Go see how many shows actually are going to get, Netflix is going to push a show that's not making fun of Jesus Christ, right? That's what this is. The beast is here. And that's what they're saying right here, right? So he wanted to know, it says well, we can conclude that some sort of world system by what was there will be integrated by the Antichrist, which is the most powerful horn, that one horn we saw, who will defeat the other 9 and will begin to wage war against Christians, right? That's the next step. Right now it's the anti-vaxxers, or the Republicans, or people who don't want the LGBTQ, WXYZ, the people who don't want transgender children, the people who want a man and a woman marriage, right? Anything that's Christian based right now, they're going to war after. Look at it. Look at what the world wants, then look at strictly what the scriptures want. What we see right now is opposite. And that's what they're saying right now. So eventually the war will be waged against Christians. And that's where it goes. So the image of it is to describe like the power of the Antichrist being to establish control over all people of the earth, to accomplish their true end. That they want, like Satan wants you to worship Satan. That's why he got thrown out of heaven. And it shows in Isaiah 14:12-14, because he wanted the humans to worship him. He didn't think he should protect the humans, which was his job. He was the worship leader. He was the most beautiful of all the angels, according to the scriptures, until he said, you know what, God, me. I don't care about them. Then he cast him out, and a third of the angels with him fallen. And hell was created for Satan and the fallen angels, not for you and me. So this one world government that is described in the scriptures is about the Antichrist taking over politically, pushing that where people love and want and feel, and to worship him. Now, I'm not going to go to who I believe it could be because it could change based on daily. It's hard to say that, you know, the name of the beast and mark of the beast and all that. But just know this, and I'm going to read this last part to you, then we'll wrap this part up. It says here, one way they will accomplish this by controlling all commerce, right? To control people. They're going to control all commerce. And this is where the idea of one world currency comes in. We talked about that yesterday because it describes some sort of satanic mark which will be required in order to buy and sell. Could that be blockchain? We'll see. I mean, look, will it be? It will be blockchain, but how will blockchain be used? That's why she said digital currency human rights constitution, right? Right there. She is already know. I guarantee that person is a believer in Christ because she sees it and she's worried about what they will do. And it says, this means anyone who refuses the mark will be able to buy food, clothing, and necessities, right? Social credit score. That's what this is describing right here. God is describing to you a social credit score. This was written 2,000 years ago. Prophesized over 2,000 years ago. Well, actually, pretty much like 1,985 years. Something like that. Okay? This means, yeah, read that. Yeah, no doubt the vast majority of people in the world will succumb to this mark. We see that. The vaccine. Most people are succumbing to it. No matter what the science actually says, right? They're changing every day, but you've been around for 2 years during this. We know that. I'm not going to go into it. But we know that most people are sheep. Most people are sheep and they're going to fall into it. Again, verse 16 makes it clear that this universal system of control where everyone, rich, poor, great, small, will bear the mark on their hand or forehead. This is where the speculation comes in for one world currency, one world government. Because those who are left behind after the rapture of the church, Lord willing, I'm gone. Lord willing, if you're a believer in Christ, you're gone. Will be face an excruciating choice for those left behind during those 3.5 years where the Antichrist or the beast rules. You have to accept the mark of the blockchain, whatever it may be, to survive or face starvation because they cut all your money off. And by the way, if you don't follow him, you will be in him as an Antichrist. You will be persecuted by those if you call yourself a Christian and you try to be a believer at that time. But those who come to Christ during that time, those names who are written in the Lamb's Book of Life will endure until you were martyred. So once this new world system comes, and it's on its way, we see it being built. Lord willing, I'm raptured. Lord willing, everybody that I know that is a believer in Christ is raptured. Hopefully by that time you're a believer and you're raptured. But those who stay behind and then become believers. Hear that? And then become believers. You were not a believer and then you became a believer. The only way that you're going to get to heaven is by stating your faith out loud with the Antichrist and the followers to be endured martyrdom. And the scripture said you will be murdered and killed. And that's no different than what's going around the world right now. We see that. Guarantee you. The way I look at some people look at me when I say I believe in Jesus Christ, I guarantee you if they could legally, they would kill me because they're tired of hearing it. They want to hear the world. They want to hear that I can change my child's sex at 2 years old. They want to hear that I can party all night and have no consequences. They want to hear that their own God, they can clone, create, be gods. Tower of Babylon. Right? We're going to build a tower all the way up to heaven. We're going to be just as great. And God said, nope, I'm going to split you all and switch it. And I'm going to spread you all around the world, give you different languages, because the scripture says, what can't humans do if they work together? What can't women do? What can't humans do if they work together? And God knew that. But God knows when we work together on this earth, there's an evil desire there. So which way are you going to choose? Again, I show you this Christ in crypto because I want you to be able to spiritually profit off of what we talk about on this show. But what do we use for the money that we are able to make once this goes? Once this moves, how are you going to do it? Now, again, I don't know if I'm ever going to use the money that ends up happening from all of this, because it could all just go downhill. But if it is here, how are you going to use it? What are you going to do with your money? Have you ever thought about it? You're just going to retire? You're going to use it for good. Because remember, my treasure is stored up in heaven, because I can't take anything with me down here up there. But Satan will tell you different. So, last but not least, make sure you guys get your life right. I can't get you to believe in Christ. I can only tell you what I know and show you scriptures. That's why this section's here. But it is 10:05 and I am running over time. So I hope you enjoyed this section. Let me know. Comment, share, subscribe. Do the whole social media thing. Because it's coming. Christ is coming. He is returning. 100% he is returning. So I guess let's go ahead and close this section out. God is good. Let's get it. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. That was just a whole bunch of messed up stuff. I'm glad I upload this later. Because it is time to do I think my computer was saying it's time to close this out now, guys. So, guys, we are here, and it's close to the end of the show. We see XRP. Just get a quick look on these charts before I get out of here. XRP hanging under 77. Look at that, going red now in the 2-hour. We'll see if this holds out. It's 10 o'clock, looking for the intraday. Bitcoin still same thing, pushing down. Trying to get under the S2, maybe making that step. Ethereum, let me get rid of this because that's what I saw. You see Ethereum. Let me delete that too. Boom. Ethereum right here, also pushing down. So, Litecoin, let's check it. Litecoin, same thing. Still a little bit more movement down. And I didn't talk about HBAR. So that, guys, is pretty much it, man. We're done for the day. We're done for the day. I forgot to show you. Oh, no, I showed you that. Yeah, we're done. That's it. Oh, man, I love it when I can just close out a live stream. Simple as that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's over with. I want to thank, let's see who we got. DJ, Ilya, Dragonfire Crypto, who came into the chat today. Appreciate all of you guys, man. You guys are wonderful. Please be careful with your long and shorts today. I'll upload long some, short some. I'll upload this again. Hopefully Dragonfire this get to you. So give it about an hour for this to do it. Start putting them up this afternoon, guys. Besides that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Be very careful in this market because I'm still looking for a possible flash crash because I don't think it's done yet. But always be ready because we're looking for those V bottoms out of there. Besides that, guys, you know what it is. This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Christ and Crypto in the Morning. Every day we come to you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., except today it's 10:08, where we talk about Christ and crypto, keeping Christ at the center of our world, even though we have to survive in it and see what's going on. So hopefully today's show was educational for you, and it helped you. Because remember, not only do I love you, but God loves you. You were loved. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. God bless, guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and do the thing that people do on social media. At Twitter, at TikTok, you know, New Creation Capital. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys.